Greetings, game explorers. Today we'll be exploring World of Goo, developed and published by 2D Boy and released in 2008 for PC and Mac, 2009 for Linux, 2010 for iOS, 2011 for Android, and 2017 for Nintendo Switch. The late 2000s were a great time for experimental game design. All three consoles now had digital storefronts, Steam was gaining popularity, and mobile gaming was now reaching the same level as mainstream gaming. By eliminating the manufacturing costs of physical discs, games could be released quicker and cheaper. One of the best games to come out of this era was the classic puzzle game World of Goo. World of Goo was created by Kyle Gabler and Ron Carmel, two guys who worked for Electronic Arts. They made a prototype called Tower of Goo, a game about building a tower by stringing together balls of goo into towers. After further expanding upon the gameplay, allegedly doing their programming over coffeehouse Wi-Fi, we got World of Goo. Like its prototype, World of Goo involves stringing balls of goo into structures. Unlike its predecessor, which only had you build to the specified height, this game's levels consist of building a stable structure and having enough leftover goo balls to reach a pipe that sucks them up. How one reaches the pipe varies from level to level. You might have to lift your structure with balloons, climb walls, or even destroy your structure to get through the level. Some of the later challenges can be radically different from what the game initially presents, but the goal of reaching the pipe is largely the same. Throughout the game, you will encounter various species of goo. Green goo can be reused, skull goo can be used to cross instant death spikes, and red goo can be set on fire. As most of the game consists of building massive structures, you'll have to remember your basic physics. For example, if you stack a ton of goo onto one side, you'll need to stack goo onto the other side to balance it. And if you're going to build tall, it helps to have a wide foundation. Each level has a certain number of goo balls that need to make it to the pipe. This kind of gameplay evokes Lemmings, but here, the extra goo isn't just for bragging rights. All the extra goo is collected outside the World of Goo Corporation, where you can accumulate it to build the tallest tower you can. This adds more incentive to replay levels, and creates a risk-reward scenario when deciding whether to play it safe and use a lot of goo to make a sturdy structure, or risk the structure's stability to get the most leftover goo. The gameplay alone is enough to make a great game, but what really elevates the game to another level is the presentation. Let's start with the visuals. The visuals combine cute and dark in a way reminiscent of the works of Tim Burton. Another work that comes to mind is Dr. Seuss's The Lorax. Throughout the game, the visuals change. The early levels give you a feeling of optimism, whereas some of the later levels give you a feeling of uneasiness, as the world gets consumed by darkness. This is all reflected in a great soundtrack that evokes the compositions of Danny Elfman. Both the visuals and the music and even the gameplay prop up a rather poetic story. You can tell right when you click on your first goo ball that these little spheres are more than just building materials. From the way they vocalize when you build, you can tell these things have personality. This is where the story comes in. The story itself is told largely through signs written by a mysterious being known as the Sign Painter. I advise clicking on them. Not only do they provide gameplay hints, but they are also very entertaining and hilarious, and help you feel even more motivated to save as many of those little goo balls as possible. You see, the goo balls in the quota are being collected by the World of Goo Corporation, who seeks to use them for their beauty products. And the story gets more bizarre and poetic from there. No wonder these guys ditched EA to make this. So that's World of Goo. There's a lot more I can say about this game, but hopefully I gave you a decent idea of what it is like and why it is one of the best independent games ever made. Kyle Gabler would go on to help found the Tomorrow Corporation, makers of Little Inferno and Human Resource Machine, two games that take the visuals and themes of World of Goo and integrate them with new forms of gameplay. If you like World of Goo, check those out too on your digital platform of choice. Really, its only flaw is that it only takes an average of 6 hours to finish the whole game, but it's an awesome 6 hours. Without a doubt, World of Goo is worth a second look.